Welcome to Techgist, where we bring you the latest development, trends, and gadgets in the tech industry. I am Timmy 007. Digital learning platforms has become increasingly popular with its flexibility and accessibility. Today on Techgist, we've got a tech visionary, a tech guru, an enthusiast, yes, in the person of Ogunade Adekunle. Is the founder and the CEO of Tutlr, an online learning platform, a full-stack developer, mentor, and an entrepreneur who defies conventional standards in the tech space. How are you doing? Welcome to Techgist.
Fine, thank you for having me.
Okay, so why did you call yourself a tech bad guy? I've not seen, because when I saw that tech bad guy, why did you call yourself tech bad guy?
Yeah, sometimes the word bad is just to define something that is
Good.
exceptionally good.
Okay.
You can be like, man, that goal he scored was very bad.
Okay. All right.
That's where the name Tech Bad Guy came from.
Okay. You gave yourself that or your friends?
I gave myself.
You gave yourself?
Yes.
And then people had to adopt it?
They had to.
Okay. All right. So what's your overview on digital learning platforms since its advent?
I think they are the way to go. They are the new frontier in the education system. Because if you look at the definition of education in the dictionary, it's a systematic process. But with the rise of online learning platforms, education is now dynamic. Anybody can teach anything, anybody can learn anything. You don't have to go through the systematic way of learning anymore. You don't just have to learn statistics, you can now learn graphics design, you can now learn anything at the comfort of your home, your office, or anywhere.
Interesting. So how do digital learning platforms ensure data security, one, and also privacy for both the learners and the instructors in this era of increasing cyber threats?
Okay, that's the role of the government.
Okay.
In data privacy. Like in Nigeria, we have most of these policies set up for some of these startups and online businesses, online tech platforms. So there are guidelines that controls how you share your users' data, who you share them with, and the kind of data you're allowed to take from your users.
Okay.
So that's the role of the government. I think that's the role of NITDA in Nigeria. And in other countries, we also have their regulation bodies that regulate data privacy and consumption.
Okay, interesting. So now, as a tech professional, right, what strategies do digital learning platforms employ to maintaining high quality content, instruction, and particularly in this rapidly evolving fields where we have information becomes outdated quickly?
I think that's the advantage, actually. Unlike the traditional learning system, updating curriculums actually takes a process.
Hmm.
Universities just don't wake up one morning and say we want to change the curriculum. It has to go through different bodies, the government, the NUC. But with with educational learning platforms, if I upgrade my skill
Hmm.
and I have a few followers that follow my learning, that follow what I teach, they have to also upskill. Once I upskill, I'm sharing my new skill with them. Like, oh guys, this is what I just learned. Like, let's say there's HTML5 and HTML6 comes out, and I know it, I've learned it. It's easier for me to distribute that knowledge.
Hmm.
All I just have to do is make a YouTube video, make a Twitter post, make an Instagram reel, and share it, and thousands of people are learning from it.
As a tech professional, right, do you think the Gen Zs are equally grabbing? I mean, this digital learning platform thing, are they really getting into it more?
I think they really are not the way they should.
I was going to,
Yeah,
it's
because
it calls for
if you think
concern,
about it, technology has not really been adopted in the
right?
classrooms.
The adaptability.
Yes, most parents don't agree that their children are learning online. They see it
Okay.
as play.
Hmm.
If you tell your mom, if a child tells their mom now, oh mommy, I need data, I need to go online on YouTube and learn something, they just assume it's play. As far as it's not coming from the classroom, it's not coming from that four walls of learning. So I think we have a problem of adoption in Nigeria currently.
Currently.
We have a problem of adoption. Most educators don't want to adopt technology in their teaching process. most university lecturers that I know don't even want to do Zoom classes with their students.
Right?
So
Because I've seen some graphics designers, they would rather take their classes online,
yes.
even cooking classes, and you do exceptionally great. So, all of this, how do we now incorporate it and make it an easier thing for people to learn digitally?
I think it's digital literacy. First of all, that's the most important part. Most people are not literate digitally. I know people that don't even trust their banking app. So
Right?
I think it's a case of catch them young. You need to start from the grassroots,
Hmm.
from the primary school learning, from the secondary school. We need to now incorporate most of these digital courses
Yeah.
where students can operate computers. If you go to most of these public secondary schools, I'm not sure their computer laboratories are very efficient as they should be.
Hmm.
So I think it needs to start from the grassroots so that the next generation of young people can be digitally literate.
Right. So before we go to Tutlr, you are a CEO of a digital learning platform. Can you tell us some of the challenges you tech professional encounter in this field?
Okay, I think it's actually people seeing a vision in what you're trying to do.
Okay.
Yeah, when you tell people, oh, I'm trying to bring learners and educators together on the platform, then they're still thinking it's play.
Right.
They don't believe in online learning yet. So they are expecting you to tell them, oh, I want to start a tutorial. You have to come to my class physically.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just a problem of vision.
Hmm.
Even the government is not driving most of these policies that that will make sure that digital learning is really enforced
Right. Okay.
from the primary school level to the secondary school to the university level.
Because I didn't use online, unlike it was the traditional learning method. Then before, I think jam ICT, then you have to go to ICT centers to write
That's
your
your
jam.
exam,
And
yes.
now I think that's what you do equally now. If you want to write jam exam, then I think in 2 days thereabout your results are out.
Do you know, like when the JAM CBT system came out, a lot of parents didn't agree with it
Yeah.
because they'll tell you, like, Yoruba parents now. Let,
Yes.
let me just chip in Yoruba parents. They tell you,
No, come on.
computer low, me fellow back exam. Like, they just believe the computer might cheat you
Yeah.
or anything could just go
Some sort of
wrong.
manipulation.
So they didn't really believe in it yet, but thank God JAM kept,
Kept at it.
yes, they kept at it, and
And they
now
kept
we
evolving.
don't have a choice now.
Right.
We don't have a choice. You just have to do the CBT. And even if you're not computer literate, there are most of these centers, cyber cafes, that you can
Yes.
go there to train,
They're even
take
fading
mock
out.
exams, and before you now go and take your. Oh, like you said, they are fading
They're
out
fading
because
off.
there's
You usually
smartphones
use
now.
your smartphone to do whatever it is you want to
So
do.
they are basically websites that you just take your mock exams online,
Exactly. And feel any mock, any details or
and
what
you're,
have you.
you're prepared to go and face the CBT system.
Yeah. So why toddler?
Okay, let me give you a backstory.
Please do.
When I was in the university, I think from my 300 level, I already wrote school off.
Okay.
Like, no, this is not what I want to learn. I've always had a
Oh, we are
passion
from
to
the
learn.
family of Mark Zuckerberg.
I've always had this passion to learn, to interact with computers, to always play with computers.
Okay.
So I didn't even know what programmers do. I just watched the movie and they were calling the guys programmers. And the next day, I think that was in 2008, I was in SS1. And the next day I got to school and I'm like, I want to be a computer programmer. I didn't even know what they do. But as the years go by, so when I got into university, I was studying computer science, but it was basically mathematics and statistics. So immediately after school, I'm like, something is missing in me. I need to learn this tech skill.
Right.
And then I was not really a fan, or I was not really open to digital learning platforms. So I went to NIIT, National Institute of Information Technology. That's where I did my diploma in web development. So after I learned, then I realized the people that came after me, they are also self-taught guys. And most of them learned on YouTube. Like my co-founder at Tutlr is a self-taught guy. He learned on YouTube from ebooks. And I'm like, okay, why didn't I go this route? Then I realized what the problem is. The problem is because I was not open to digital learning.
Hmm.
And most of these platforms were not that supportive. There was no community behind them. If you go to school and you're having issues, you have your classmates to meet.
That's right.
if you're in church or your religious place and you're having spiritual,
You got me your pastor.
you even have your members, your church member, your mosque members,
Yeah.
and you get. So I saw the importance of community in learning,
Right.
and I realized that okay, the digital space really lacks community.
Right.
So that's when I thought, okay, you know what? Why not build a platform that just centralize everything about learning?
Hmm.
You want to pay your educator. So for Tutlr, we have bill payment, we have virtual classes, you have one-on-one messaging. Just basically centralize all of these services, so you don't have to like use your email for communication, use WhatsApp to communicate, use Zoom for virtual engagement. Most of all these apps make it very hard to keep up with learning. So we want to centralize all of this into one single mobile app. And also, if you learn from somebody, it makes perfect sense for you to continue following that person
That's right.
so that you can get more insight from their learning journey, from you can get more perspective. So if you teach me graphics design now, I want to keep in touch with you in a way that anything you share about graphics design, maybe you share about colors, you share about anything in graphics design, even for the next 5 years, I can still follow you and learn all these things from the content you
I
share.
can keep to date.
Yeah, so we want to enforce educational content sharing.
Okay, speaking of community learning, yeah, how do online learning platforms like yours, right, give this a sense of community and collaboration among learners, replicating the interpersonal dynamics of traditional classrooms into virtual environment?
Okay, like I said, content sharing. If you think about it now, we 80% of us we are content consumers.
That's right.
We go on TikTok, we go on
We keep
Instagram.
absorbing.
Yes, my favorite content creator is Lai Wasabi. So we want to also do that for education.
Yeah,
I'm sure a lot of Lai Wasabi's fans they feel like they are a community. They know what
exactly.
his latest video is. Immediately he makes a post, they drop a comment. In fact, sometimes you see people watching out for each other's comment. I'm waiting for the comment this person is going to drop about this video. I don't know him, but I know he always drops comments on like WhatsApp's video,
Yeah,
and his comments are always to die for. So we want to make sure that people do the same for education.
right.
So you keep up with an we call on Tutlr, we call them educators,
Okay.
people that share educational content.
Yeah,
So when you follow such people, they have their community, you're a member of that
it broadens
community
your horizon.
because you pick interest in what that person is sharing. For me, for example, I'm a fan of Mark Zuckerberg,
Yeah,
but he doesn't really share most of his insight and perspective on Instagram. He mostly does at interviews.
yeah.
So I have to go on YouTube, look for most of his interview videos, and then I learn from his perspective and insight. So basically, what we want to do with Tutlr is to enforce educational content sharing that builds community.
Because I was going to ask that what is Tutlr doing to change, the narrative in the digital space? I was going to ask that. So you can just buttress that before I go to my final question.
Okay, what we want to do, what we want to do different is to make sure that anybody can learn anything and anybody can teach anything.
Anybody can learn anything and anybody can teach
teach
anything. So we are not just absorbers,
Yeah,
we are
we're
also
all
teachers.
Do you get?
Okay.
I might be a beginner in graphics design, but there's one particular thing I know better than even people that are pros.
Right.
It could be color blending, it could be any of those design jargon, and I just come and I say, hey guys, while I was learning this, I found out you can actually do this. So we want to make sure anybody can teach anything and anybody can learn anything, irrespective of industry, location, or any barrier that could have been in place before.
All right. So your final thoughts on digital learning platforms, especially here in Nigeria.
Well, I think I'll not lie to you, I'm not really a fan of schools.
Right.
Yes, because I think
But at least we shall still go to school.
we might not necessarily. What do we go to
No,
school
no,
for?
no, no. I'm not talking of maybe 6 years or 4 years. I mean, if you go to a professional school.
Yeah. That's the thing with the way the world is going now. It's decentralized.
Right.
You go to school to learn.
Definitely.
Yeah, but if that same knowledge you're going to get in school, you're going to get a much better one online, or from just one particular person, then what's the essence? Why are you going to school?
Okay, in the words of Mr. Adekunle.
Yeah. Like somebody told me something like 6 years ago. He said, if you know where you're going in life and education will not take you there, there's no need to spend a day in school.
Right.
But because of the African setting, if you go and tell your mother now, "Mommy, I want
You are
to
breaking
drop
that
out of
table,
school,"
oh.
your mother automatically say, "Hey, Mogbe,
You
I
will
want
collect
that."
Omorogu.
Do you understand? Like, so if you know, okay, you have a passion for photography,
Yeah.
why not look for a photography place to learn? And now you don't even have to look for a physical place to learn photography. You just have to follow industry experts online, and they'll teach you how to set cameras, how to set lighting, your aperture, whatever it is. And before you know, you are a pro. I
Right.
have guys that work for international organizations and they never learned programming from the classroom. They learned online, they learned on YouTube. So I think digital learning platforms are the new frontier of education. And until we accept it as a reality, I think we still have a long way to go in Nigeria.
You heard it all from the CEO and the founder of Tutlr. That's a digital learning platform, a stock developer, mentor, and an entrepreneur in the person of Mr. Ogunade Adekunle. Thanks for coming in. We
Thank you
really
for
enjoyed
having me.
your in-depth analysis, especially on digital learning platforms, because we need to continue to sensitize ourselves. And that's all we've got for you on TechGist today. Don't forget to visit our website on www.techpression.com and visit all our social media platforms. Bye.